Hello, Las Vegas. Buenas noches, bienvenidas, and welcome to the only true conservative show in America, Chris Garcia, the conservative American. And what we're going to talk about today is something everybody, every station in America, and I know you Trump supporters are very interested in this, and that is, will it be Rudy Giuliani or will it be Mitt Romney chosen as Secretary of State? It's a very interesting decision, and we're going to jump into that, and we're going to talk to you about that. And we are sponsored today by CorpNevadaOnline.com, JB at CorpNevadaOnline.com. Once again, that is JB at CorpNevadaOnline.com. She's a resident agent, the best in the state of Nevada. If you're starting a corporation and you want to be registered with the Secretary of State's office in the state of Nevada, then you want to call CorpNevadaOnline.com, JB at CorpNevadaOnline.com. And if you want to protect your business and reduce taxes through incorporating your business, it's very, very important. Then the last piece in the incorporating puzzle, you want to go to CorpNevadaOnline.com. If you have any questions, they have the answers. Talk to JB. She will walk you through step-by-step incorporating your business, and you will be registered with the Secretary of State's office. She's the best in the state of Nevada. Once again, that's 775-629-4064, CorpNevadaOnline.com. And with that, let's dive into today's show. Rudy Giuliani or Mitt Romney. Very interesting, very, very interesting decision. I can see Donald Trump's decision either way, whichever one he decides to make. It's a very interesting decision. I've gone back and forth for a week on this. Rudy Giuliani definitely has certain strengths. Number one, I'm old school, and I believe in loyalty. Loyalty is very important for my friends, my family, my business partners. It is very important for you to be loyal, and I show more loyalty than I am giving. It's an attribute that my father and my grandfather passed down onto me. It's extremely important. And Rudy Giuliani, there was no one, besides maybe a couple of people that came out and supported Donald Trump earlier, than Rudolph Giuliani did. He has a lot of great attributes. I like him. He definitely, country is first to him. He's a proud American. He's a proud New Yorker. I can't say enough about what he did to turn New York City around. I am a Chicago native. Grew up on the South Side from an African-American father and a Cuban mother. And I know how tough it is to police those cities. Before we moved to Chicago, we lived in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York for a few years. And let me tell you something, back in the 70s and the 80s, New York was, at that time, the murder capital in the United States of America. And it was a very dangerous city. Entered Rudolph Giuliani, and he began the stop and frisk program, which I don't care if it's unconstitutional or not. I really don't care what people think about that. I live there, and I hate for liberals who live in Upper Manhattan. They don't live in the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Harlem. None of the boroughs where you have even certain parts of Manhattan that had gone to hell because of neglect through the liberal mayors in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. If you didn't live there, if you didn't live in New York, if you don't live in Chicago, I don't want to hear from you. I live there. And I don't care how, I wish they did more things that were so-called unconstitutional. I don't believe that. First of all, they implemented curfews. And your child, 15, 16 years old, should be out on the street anyway at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, at least more with a weapon or a knife or drugs. He shouldn't be out anyway. So that's, one of the main things about stop and frisk was just, I always say this, most laws are already in the books. There are really no new ideas. It's just about enforcing the laws that are already on the books. And that's what Rudolph Giuliani did. He enforced the laws that were already on the books. So I really don't see what he did that was so unconstitutional. I'm getting hits right now. I get hits all over the country live on the air. If you'd like to call in, 702-983-0711. I'm going to need, we have a wonderful producer here, and we have a wonderful staff. This is a beautiful downtown facility in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you'd like to call in live, text me live, hit me up live on the air, you can do that, 702-983-0711. It is very important for you all around the country to know I am on the air, first from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I'm the co-host of Faith the Tribune with Rolando Meraz. And then, of course, following that from 1 o'clock to 1:30, sometime, time permitting, we go on to 2 o'clock. But it's Pacific time. So make sure when you call in, 702-983-0711, you understand, if you're watching us all over the country, that we are live from 12 o'clock to 1:30 Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Sometimes we get calls later on, sometimes, and people don't understand that, but we're on from 12 o'clock to 1:30 Pacific time. You can call in live and be live on the fastest growing conservative show in America. And you can also, if you would like, we will set it up when you talk to our producer, Cian. And if you are here in Las Vegas or the surrounding area or are going to be in town, you can set it up with our producer, and I would love to have you here live. December is almost booked. We have so many guests coming up, important guests. We have sheriffs, we have governors, we have mayors, we have so many people that are coming on and they're going to be on the show. It's the fastest growing conservative show in the country. And now is the time to get in if you'd like to come on and express yourself. And I don't care if you're Democrat, Green Party, liberal, conservative, libertarian, Tea Party, it doesn't make any difference. I love to hear all views, but I'm going to, trust me, always give a conservative view. There's so few of them, maybe Hannity and a few others, that really keep a conservative view. And I am a Christian, and this, I believe, is a conservative Christian country given to us by the God Almighty. That will be another show that I will get into, Christian values, and they're being lost in this country. But again, if you'd like to talk to us live, 782-983-0711 from 12 o'clock to 1:30 Pacific time, Monday through Friday, and you can call in and be live on the air. But getting back, Rudy Giuliani cleaned up the city of New York. He was a prosecutor before he became a mayor, and I really would have liked him possibly to the Attorney General job, but it seems like Donald Trump is going in a different direction. But he cleaned up the city of New York. He cleaned up the borough of Manhattan, and he made it so, I mean, we came back from Chicago, we went on vacation, and we went to a Broadway show, and we could not believe what he had done in Manhattan. We went to visit friends in Brooklyn, in Harlem, and we could not believe what Rudy Giuliani had done. That city is so much better than it used to be. New Yorkers ought to be proud of their city, and it's a beautiful, of course, you know, it's a beautiful city. And but what he did to bring crime down, now it's one of the safest big cities in the United States of America. And when I was coming up in the 60s and 70s, and you would have never believed that New York City would have been one of the safest cities in our country, but it is right now. And that's a testament to what Rudy Giuliani did as his time as mayor and prosecutor, and prosecuting the mafia, of course, and went on to become America's mayor. We can't say enough what he did on 9/11. Phenomenal. Outside of maybe the presidency of the United States, and I believe he outperformed George Bush at that time. It's understandable your first thing that you have to do if you're a Secret Service, if you're security at any point, is to make sure that the President of the United States is safe. Because we did not know on 9/11 exactly what was going on in this country, if there were more attacks, where they were coming from, what country, what group was responsible for it. So, of course, your president is always delayed in what he can do and coming out and addressing the American people. But Rudy Giuliani was there from moment one at ground zero and letting us know that America is going to be okay. America will fight back, and that everything was going to be okay. And he was hugging the firemen, and he was hugging the police officers, and he just made people feel that everything was going to be all right. And I can't say enough about his performance. That's why he's America's mayor. He has gone on to be very successful as a security analyst and an owner, I believe, of a private security firm. He's gone on to be very successful. But I would love to see him serving our country and serving in the Trump administration. I think you cannot go wrong. People talk about his temperament. If I was to have one question about Mr. Giuliani, America's mayor, being Secretary of State, would be that is a job in which your temperament has to be even keeled. You are dealing with, you are representing, first of all, Donald Trump, his administration. You're representing all of us in the United States of America. And you are meeting with world leaders, and you are trying to get across our perspective here and where we expect our alliances and where we expect, where we can make agreements at. You know, you have to talk about, you have to be a leader. You almost, to me, I mean, a lot of people talk about the vice president, but I believe Secretary of State is the second most important job that we have in our government. And, you know, there's so many things going around the world dealing with Russia right now, and dealing with Iran, dealing with Iraq, with Syria. There's so many things. Afghanistan, there's so many things that are going on right now. When you meet with those people, you really have to have an even keel, and you have to be able to get across our perspective, the United States government, and what they expect out of those countries. But at the same time, you can't seem like you're lecturing to them. It is a different kind of job. You have to seem like you are ready to make deals with them. And, you know, because it's the difference between being on the campaign, and I keep trying to tell people this, and governing. You know, when you're trying to win, you say and do whatever you have to do to win. When you step in that office is bigger than you. It's bigger than Donald Trump. If Donald Trump does not have a good administration, if he doesn't hire good people, that job will swallow him up. And that's the one thing I have to give credit for Barack Obama. I'm not a fan whatsoever. But the way that he handled the transition that he met with Trump and his family. And I think that if you could tell, and we all know Donald Trump a little bit, he is a very confident person. Certain people put it on to the point of cocky. I like that about him. I think that's why he's very comfortable in his own skin. But if you watched him meeting in the Oval Office, and him and Barack Obama were sitting next to each other, you could tell just from that meeting and some of the things that Barack Obama shared with him about being president, the enormity of it, you could tell began to sink in a little bit. And he was humbled. It is different. You know, all my dad used to always say, you know, you can say whatever you want to say until you walk in that man's shoes. And him out campaigning and saying what you want to say all around the country is so much different than you actually stepping in the Oval Office and taking on that responsibility. You're responsible for 310 million lives. You are the leader of the free world, and you are responsible for so many things. You're responsible for the strongest military in the country, in the world. I'm sorry. You're responsible for so many things. And you're responsible for the world's largest economy. And you're responsible for so many social programs. You're responsible for so many lives. It's much different than having your own business. I don't care how big your business is. You're the president, the CEO, you make all the decisions. And you don't have to cut deals with anybody. If people don't like your deals, you can fire them. Like on The Apprentice, you can't do that when you're president of the United States. So he's got some difficult decisions to make. It is an enormous job. And you're live on the air. You're live on the air. Yes.
Mr. Fair?
No. You have the wrong number. But yes, it's a very big job, and it's a big decision. This is, I believe, his biggest decision, and I think that that's why he's taking so much time to determine what he wants to do in this decision. And then we have Mitt Romney. Mr. Romney did some wonderful things being governor of his state, and I like his even keel about himself. He seems like he thinks before he makes decisions. And my dad used to always, anytime anybody would ask him a question, my dad would always say, "Let me sleep on it." Because he said that if you answer a question right then, it's simple. If somebody asks you, "Do you want fries with that shake?" You can determine that in 10 seconds. But somebody asks you a big question, you need to take 24 hours, because you can't give a response, an even-keeled response to a big question in your life in 10 seconds. And he would always tell people, "Let me sleep on that, and I'll get back to you tomorrow." And Mitt Romney strikes me as that kind of person. His dad would seem like he was that kind of person. He thinks about things before he does them. I believe he's a good businessman. I believe he has an economics, a financial background. He has an even temperament. And I think he's extremely intelligent. And I think that the only reason that it is taking so long for President-elect Trump to make this decision is that he must be impressed by Mitt Romney when he met him. When you're worth billions of dollars and you're Donald Trump and you just, to me, basically won an electoral college landslide, he comes in with a mandate from the American people. And yet you're willing to meet with people that definitely were against you, people that were your enemies. You definitely, it's definitely a thing of where he had to have been impressed by meeting Mr. Romney. He had to have been impressed for him to take this long to make that kind of a decision. It had to be a very impressive meeting. I think Mitt Romney came across as knowing what he was doing. And I think that it must have been an extremely impressive meeting. So I think that he has a tough decision to make. I think he should take as long as he wants to make that decision. He should not rush into that decision. He should not be rushed into that decision. I think it is very important in our country for Secretary of State is a huge job. And I think that he should take as long as he wants. Both men have their strengths. Both men have their weaknesses. I don't necessarily myself. I know a lot of people inside his camp, and a lot of Americans say, "Well, Chris, how can you say that? The things that Mitt Romney said about him were disgusting. He was totally against Trump. He was basically a never Trumper, and never Donald Trump for president." A lot of people believe Mitt Romney was one of those people. But I say to you, we can't afford to hold grudges. We have to go forward in this country. We have to put people back to work in manufacturing, in the coal mines. We have to bring companies back to the United States of America. We don't have time to play games. We don't have time to prosecute Hillary Clinton. If they want to hire somebody separately to prosecute Hillary Clinton, fine. Me personally, I don't care about the lady. I hope she goes away and takes her crooked money that she got from the Clinton Foundation and spends that. And I hope she gets on a boat and goes somewhere. Her and Bill and her daughter, all of them, I hope they leave. I don't think they're no good for this country. But if you want to spend your political capital going after that crap, then you do that. I hope that Donald Trump listens to smarter people and spends his political capital putting people in the best position to be successful and bringing jobs back to this country, bringing companies back to this country. You see Carrier, they were talking about moving their plant to Mexico. And now Donald Trump is talking to them, and they met with him, and they said that it was a very vigorous meeting. It was a good meeting, and they're thinking about keeping their plant carrier back in the United States of America. Ford also was going to take a plant that made vehicles to Mexico, and now they're rethinking it. And I tried to tell you this on an earlier show. They are afraid of what Donald Trump will do if you take American jobs and you move them overseas or you move them to Mexico. I believe one of the main things he will do, and trust me, I don't know about the wall, I don't know about prosecuting Hillary, I don't know about draining the swamp, but I can tell you one thing he will do. As a businessman, he will make sure that American people are fighting on an even playing field. And for so long, whether it's China or Mexico or Korea or Japan, we have not been playing on an even, I have so many bleeding heart liberals run up to me and they say, well, jobs are never coming back, Chris. You need to let it go. That was another day. No. And I try to explain to him. So did we stop using coal? Did we stop using steel? Did we stop making air conditioners? People not use air conditioners anymore? Did we stop making steel? Or so the jobs, stop telling me that the jobs disappeared. The jobs didn't disappear. They didn't disappear. They just moved. People are hitting me while I'm on the air. That's fine. I love it. Continue to watch. Continue to hit me up. Call in 702-983-0711. Call in. You can be part of the show. Don't be afraid. I understand. I love the text. I love the hits on YouTube. I love people calling me. I love the responses. I love the voicemails. But do not be afraid to watch us live every day. Face the Tribune from 12 to 1. I co-host that with Rolando LaRosse, the great Rolando LaRosse, the owner of the Las Vegas Tribune. And then you will always see Conservative American with Chris Garcia. From 1 to 1:30 some days. We go on until 2 o'clock Pacific time. So if you would like to call in, please feel free to. You can call me at 782-983-0711. I also have a new Google number, 702-751-9955. That's 702-751-9955. Once again, 702-751-9955. And that is my Google number, and you can get in contact with me directly. I love to talk to people all over the country. There are people calling in. There are people that are booking our show. December is going to be a huge month. It's going to be a turning point month. I'm getting hits from marketers, from people saying that this is one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing conservative talk show and radio station in the country. Sorry, my friend Alex Jones. He's a friend of mine, and his show, of course, is doing extremely well. But we have on so many big guests coming up in December, and our producer is booking. I mean, we're getting calls all day, all night. We love to hear the feedback, and we always will keep it real. We will always have a conservative view, but we love to talk to people of all political backgrounds, races, whatever that you want to talk about. Please come in and call us at 702-983-0711, 702-983-0711, and we will let you talk to our producer, Cian, the best producer in the country. And she will set up a time for you to come in and a date, and you can be in our show if you're going to be in the Las Vegas area, or if you live in Las Vegas, as well as advertising. If you'd like to call in and do a commercial or have us advertise for you, we would be more than willing to do that. We have very competitive rates, and this is the time to get in right now and advertise for your business. We are sponsored today. One of our sponsors is the Las Vegas Tribune, and they are the owner of this wonderful facility, and we are incorporated. We are part of the Las Vegas Tribune, and we have many radio shows here that are part of the Las Vegas Tribune family, that are under the Las Vegas Tribune tent, and we're just so blessed. I was so blessed to get this opportunity that the legendary Rolando Ross, if you all don't know him, Google him. And he is one of the biggest conservative people ever in this country. He is a living legend. And I was so blessed for him to give me this opportunity. And I'm going to try and make him proud. I'm going to try and make our country proud. I am a strict conservative, and I am a Christian, and I believe in God. And I believe this country was given to us by God. And I'm going to always try and uphold that and spread that word. And but at the same time, we like to have fun here, and we like to laugh, and we like to joke. And sometimes we get off of message and stay with us because I do believe in having a good time. I think some people can take things too serious, like those wacky nuts and those Black Lives Matter people that are out there in the street tearing things up, tearing our country up, making us look really bad overseas in other countries. That's not democracy. That's not democracy at work. You're just hurting our republic, and you're just tearing things up in the street, and you're tearing up all these people that have these businesses. Their taxes and their premiums are going to go up because you're breaking their windows, and you are looting and tearing up their property. Stop it. Go home and read a book. Go to school. Do some things positive with your life. There's nothing wrong with debate. You can come in here and you can sit with me and you can debate up across this table, but don't tear apart our country, and don't tear up people that have worked their entire lives to have these businesses, and you go on in 5 minutes and you set them back, or they can't open up the businesses in the morning, or their premiums for their insurance go up because you have nothing else better to do but to throw a brick through their window. That's not American. Stop it. And there's nothing wrong with you having protests. I enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with you having discussion. There's nothing wrong with you getting across your point. And there's nothing wrong with you getting excited and getting hyphy about getting across your point. I love a good argument. Trust me, you come in here and debate with me. I love a good argument, but you can say your part, and I will listen to you, and I will fight and lose my life for you to have the right to say what you need to say. And that's in the Constitution, that everybody has a right to their own opinion, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it's a tough decision for Donald Trump to make. I think that certain people are going to worry about Rudy Giuliani a little bit, like I said, maybe because of his temperament, and they are afraid that he's too close to Donald Trump, and there won't be a broader view if he goes overseas, a more diplomatic view about listening to the other side. And we have to understand one thing: even though we are the leaders of the world, we are the most powerful country on earth. We are the most blessed by God. Diplomacy still is number one when you're dealing with other foreign leaders. And I believe that we are sitting in a position as the United States of America that people are always going to be willing to deal with us and negotiate with us, and in a way have to do bend to our will a little bit. We have the biggest economy, we have the strongest military, so just right there, when you come into the negotiating table, people are going to have to deal with us. But you still have to do diplomacy, and you still have to deal with people, and you still have to cut deals with people. And so a lot of people are worried about Rudy Giuliani being Secretary of State. I'm really not, as much as most people. And but Mitt Romney might also as well be a good Secretary of State. I think that you could go either way, and I think that it would be good. I think I'm going to stay on today for a full hour. So once again, if you would like to call in, 702-983-0711, and you can talk to me live. We are on Monday through Friday from 12 o'clock. Face the Tribune is from 12 to 1. And then Conservative Chris Garcia, the Conservative American, is on from 1 to 1:30, and sometimes we go on until 2 o'clock. I'm sorry, I almost slipped up there and said the Conservative Roundtable with John Estrada. That is my friend, John. If you're listening, we miss you, and we can't wait for you to come back. That is a wonderful show. He is one of the most patriotic men in the country. A great American. John Estrada is in California with his family right now. But again, I keep trying to tell you, the Radio Tribune, which is a part of the subsidiary of the Las Vegas Tribune, is just growing. John Estrada is one of the biggest Republicans in the country. He ran for president a few years ago himself, and he has, signed up, and he's doing a radio show here. John Estrada, Conservative Roundtable, and I mean, the ratings were going through the roof. John is connected with everybody, every politician. He was, dealing with Trump's camp when they came to Las Vegas, and he dealt with them. He went to all the parties. I mean, John is so connected, and we know for a fact that he made the state for Trump closer than they thought that it was going to be. He only lost the state by 28,000 votes, and John Estrada had a lot to do with that, as well as Rolando LaRosse, the owner of the Las Vegas Tribune. The articles that Rolando wrote in his paper, and the people that he had in during the campaign, and just his support. When Rolando LaRosse and John Estrada endorse a candidate, you're going to get a lot more votes. So we can't wait for John to come back from California. It should be a few weeks. And so you have 3 hard-hitting shows, conservative shows, from 12 o'clock in the afternoon at that point then until 3 o'clock. You will have Face the Tribune from 12 to 1. You'll have Chris Garcia, the Conservative American, from 1 to 2. And then probably Conservative Roundtable with John Estrada from 2 to 3. I mean, what other station are you going to cut on, and besides maybe Fox, and get 3 consecutive hard-hitting conservative shows? We share your values, the forgotten man and woman, the American people out there. And really, I mean, some of the shows on Fox, do you really, besides, like I said, Hannity, maybe O'Reilly, I mean, certainly Megyn Kelly, we don't even watch her anymore. Do you get 3 consecutive hard-hitting shows like this that we share your values, conservative values, Christian values, and we talk about it every day on the air, Monday through Friday. But you can also catch us. Our shows are on YouTube. You can watch them 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Our producer, CN, does a fantastic job of keeping our shows on the air. They're also on the radio. We just got a radio deal. We will be on 94.7 very soon. Simulcast all over the country. We're on YouTube all over the country, streaming live. Television people are talking to us. I mean, this station is blowing up. And, we're in a beautiful, beautiful state-of-the-art downtown facility in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Las Vegas Tribune, the headquarters. And we have just beautiful state-of-the-art facilities and the best producer in the entire country. So, from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday, Pacific time, you can listen to us on the radio. You can watch us live stream on YouTube, or you can catch us later on. Just Google us. You can Google Face the Tribune, Rolando LaRosse. You can Google The Conservative American with Chris Garcia. And you can Google Conservative Roundtable with John Estrada. And you can watch 3 hours of the most hard-hitting conservative shows. We share your values. We put the American people first. And for 3 hours, you can watch at any time of the day or night the hardest-hitting conservative real shows. We care about the American people. You can call me a nationalist. You can call me whatever you want to. America comes first here at Radio Tribune. And definitely, Chris Garcia, the Conservative American. America will always come first on this show. And I will debate anybody that comes in here and sits at this table and tries to tell me that other countries, or that other trade agreements for other countries, or that NAFTA, or that these other ridiculous, unfair, unbalanced trade agreements that these other presidents have signed. If you want to come in here and debate that with me, you will not convince me that those deals are good for American businesses and good for the United States of America and good for my fellow citizens, my fellow people. You will not tell me that, because these deals are not good for the United States of America. They're sending our jobs overseas. They're sending our companies overseas. They are unfairly taxing us, and we are doing nothing about it. And we finally have a president, hopefully, that will do what he said that he was going to do on the campaign trail and bring American jobs back, put people back to work, because that's number one. You know, if I have a job, if I'm able to take care of my family, then we can discuss anything. But if I don't have a job and I don't have a way to take care of my family, then there's really nothing to discuss. So that comes first. And you will always have a friend in Chris Garcia. American people that are out there working, that are working 9 to 5s, that are working graveyard shifts, that are busting their butt to put food on the table for their families. You have a friend here at Radio Tribune. Chris Garcia, the conservative American, I will always put you first, and I will debate anybody that comes in here. We have a wonderful facility that I can sit 20 people here. We have plenty of desks, we have plenty of chairs, we have plenty of offices. I can sit 20 people coming here. If you want to come in here as a group or you want to come in here one-on-one and talk to me, that is fine. But I will always put the American people first. I know how hard it is to go out here and put food on the table, being my wife on a small business. And that's one of the things that Rolando LaRosse saw in me is our daily struggle. And he hired me on to have my own radio show and talk about that struggle to be an American today in 2016 in the United States of America. It is hard to pay your bills and put food on the table. Me and my wife are very blessed, and we have always had the support of our friends and our family, and our business is doing well. But we see the struggles when people come in and they're trying to spend money. It is very difficult. So you will always have a friend in me, and everything that I've ever had in my life, God has blessed me with it. Yes, we have to get up and do the work every day, but without God, none of it would be possible. A couple of other appointments today. We had KT McFarland. She will be the National Security Advisor, and she has worked under other administrations, Nixon. She worked under the Ford administration and under the Reagan administration. She ran for Senate in New York, actually against Hillary Clinton, and lost in 2006. And she was an advisor to Henry Kissinger. So she has a lot of experience, and KT McFarland is going to be our national security advisor. From what I've heard and from everyone, they give her rave reviews. And they say she was absolutely an opponent of the Obama administration and the way they ran the war and the way they ran the fight against ISIS. She was a definite opponent of the Obama administration. Of course, so was I. Talk about that all the time. He has made our country so unsafe. I talked to people out the street, a few liberals, and they came up to me and they recognized me and they said, Chris, how can you say that this country hasn't been attacked and blah, 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 blah. I say, there are more hot spots around the world since Barack Obama became president there ever has been in the history of the United States. And the vacuum that they left in Iraq created Syria, and the vacuum that they left in Iraq created ISIS. Excuse me, and that's what we're fighting now, and that's what Donald Trump is going to have to fight. So KT McFarland is a definite opponent of the way Barack Obama and his administration have been fighting ISIS, and they won't even call it what it is. They won't even call it terrorism. They won't even say the words. And that's what it is. These people are terrorists. They are killers. And, they're out beheading Americans and beheading Christians all around the world on national TV and putting it on the internet for people to see. And you won't even call them for what they are. That's what they are. They're killers. I wouldn't even call them terrorists. I don't even, that word to me isn't strong enough. Let's just call it what they are. They're murderers. And in this country, if you commit murder, you're going to get an injection. At least you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. So, KT McFarland, I think, is a good hire for a national security advisor. Donald I'm not sure of his last name, but he was hired to be the head of the White House Counsel. I'm going to try and get my producer, Cian, to look that up. One of Donald Trump's hires today was for the head of the White House Counsel. I think she's looking that up for me right now. I believe his name is Donald, but I'm not sure of the last name. I haven't heard much about him. I will do my research on him today, but he was hired to be the head of the White House Council in the Trump administration. So two more people today, National Security Advisor KT McFarland and the White House Council. So two more spots. I'm still looking to see what's going to happen with Dr. Ben Carson. I have the utmost respect for Dr. Ben Carson, and I would love to see him in the Trump administration in some capacity. They're talking about him being head of HUD, Housing and Urban Development, and I think that just his intelligence alone in the Trump administration will be a wonderful thing to have. So many big things happening around the country, and it's 61 degrees today in Las Vegas, Nevada. The 7-day forecast is going to be cooling down. It's going to be in the 50s all next week. Lows will range from the 30s to 40s. So again, always protect your pets. And, it gets cold, especially in the, a lot of people don't think that. They come in from out of town and they don't realize how cold it is here in Las Vegas. Of course, coming from Chicago, I've been here 25 years. You can't compare the winters. But when it's been 115, and a lot of tourists come in our summertime when it's 110, 115 degrees. And then all of a sudden, it's 30 degrees at night, which if you say 30 degrees in November in Chicago, December, people are wearing their shorts. But when you say 30 degrees here in Las Vegas, and you've been used to 100, 110 degree weather every day, it feels very cold, and it gets very windy here because we're in the desert. And there's a lot of open mountain ranges, and it gets very cold here. So, protect your pets. If you're coming in from out of town, make sure you bring a nice sweater, fleece sweater, for the holidays. Talking about over 600,000 people coming here over the holidays. So you want to make sure that you are dressed accordingly. Bring jackets for your kids, bring sweaters, and make sure you're dressed appropriately because it gets cold here at night when that sun goes down and the coyotes come out in the desert here. It gets very cold at night, and I've even had to cut my heat on here. But it's a beautiful city, and we have a beautiful facility here in the middle of downtown Las Vegas, right off of 9th and Charleston. It's a wonderful facility here at the Las Vegas Tribune. So definitely, if you want to call in and you want to talk, 702-983-0711, 702-983-0711, and I am on from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, Monday through Friday. That is Pacific time. So make sure if you call in 702-983-0711, you remember it's Pacific time, and you will be calling in live to the show, and it will be rebroadcast all over the country. We have just a lot of interesting things going on in the country right now, and the administration is coming together. He's filling new slots every day. The Dow Jones continues to go up. It went up another 60 points, I believe, today, so it continues to go up. And we're well over 19,000, first time in the history of our country. And I think it's getting back to the Secretary of State pick. I think that not only will that have a lot to do with how we are perceived overseas, but, it has every decision to mean people don't understand that. But investment and businesses and the market take heed about who you're surrounding yourself with. I'm very torn about Rudy Giuliani or Mitt Romney. I'd have to say, people, I'm 50-50. And, I'm almost leaning a little bit towards Mitt Romney. That might make a lot of my fans and my viewership, people that are watching the show, that might concern him a little bit. But I believe he would make an excellent Secretary of State. And I almost believe that they are torn in the Trump administration 50-50. I believe that there is a large part, and I believe Donald Trump is leaning more toward Mitt Romney than Rudy Giuliani. I think that would shock a lot of people. I think that there are a lot of people in his administration that are fighting very hard for Rudy Giuliani because they believe that Mr. Giuliani was loyal to him throughout the campaign, even before the campaign. But the campaign is over. And right now, I believe you have to put the best people and positioned for you to succeed. I'm the type of person that, even though, I mean, Donald Trump, uh, I don't have that much money. Donald Trump is a billionaire. I'm a middle class, working class American, has to get up every day and work hard to put food on my table. But I'm the type of person that the only reason I'm semi-successful and I have a small business, I have a great radio show here, is that I surround myself with people that are smarter than me. And it doesn't matter if you disagree with them or not. Sometimes you need that. You don't need to be surrounded by a bunch of yes people. You need people that will disagree with you and have a difference of opinion and look at things differently. Sometimes you need that. And it's a common influence on you, because we all get hyphy and we all think that we're the smartest person in the world, and you're not. Donald Trump is very smart. He's a successful businessman, but he has also filed for bankruptcy 4 times. So everybody in this world makes mistakes, and sometimes you need somebody from left field to come in and tell you something different about yourself, or just to have a different viewpoint. So if Rudy Giuliani is appointed as Secretary of State, I have no problem with that. I love him as a mayor, as a prosecutor. He is also a very successful business person. And I do have a soft spot in my heart for people that are loyal to me. And I know that Rudy Giuliani was very loyal to Donald Trump. He's always been friends with him. He's always supported him. But I just would hasten to say, hire people. Sometimes it's best to hire people that have a different view and come at things a little bit different, because you need to have a diverse cabinet. You can't have just everybody that agrees with you all the time. And I think you need a softer spoken person, and a person with more even keel personality when you're talking about going to visit world leaders. That's a very important job. That's a very big job. I believe myself is the second most important job in government, behind President of the United States. So it's a very big decision, and I hope that Donald Trump, I know he is a Christian man. People don't understand that about him. I hope that he prays and thinks on his decision, because it is a very important decision, and it sends a signal around the world what kind of administration this will be. So I hope that everybody in his administration prays on it, thinks on it, and makes the best decision for our country going forward. One thing I want to say to the American people, you have to understand that Donald Trump won this election. For all of you conservatives out there like me, number one, I want to say one thing. Donald Trump is not responsible for these nuts, these extreme right-wing people who are supremacists, white supremacists. Donald Trump is not responsible for that, any more than Hillary Clinton is responsible for Black Lives Matter. I am the one thing that I always talk about to people in the African American community and growing up on the south side of Chicago. You know, I had a friend of mine killed when I was young, shot on 87, and Jeffrey, we were on the payphone. He was shot and he was murdered. He bled out and he died right in front of me. And there were no groups that were coming to help. There were no Black Lives Matter. I mean, thousands of young African American men predominantly are shot and killed every day on the south side of Chicago. And I didn't see Jesse Jackson. I didn't see anybody coming to their aid. I didn't see Black Lives Matter, Black Panthers, or any other groups, extreme groups, you know, that were marching and saying, why don't this violence stop? Where were the groups at? I take them as being as extreme as a white supremacy group. To me, they're both the same. All lives matter. And if you're going to talk to me and you're going to talk to Chris Garcia, the conservative American, don't come with me about any groups. All lives matter. We live in the United States of America. And if you're an American citizen, your life matters to me. I don't care about your group. I don't care about you just caring about the color group of your skin. I don't look at it like that. I judge people on who they are inside. I'm a Christian, and there are good people and there are fools. And my mother used to always say that they're fools of every color, and they're good people of every color. So don't come at me with your group and your particular color of your group is the only one that matters. I will talk to you, but trust me, I will not agree with you. All American lives matter. I don't care if you're white, black, brown. It does not matter to me. If you are for America, then you are my friend. If you are not for America, you are not my friend. And I don't care about your group. I don't care about your political group. I don't care about any of that. I'm for the American people. I'm for the working man. I'm for those people in West Virginia. I'm for those people in Kentucky. I'm for those people in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Michigan, and Nevada, and Arizona, and Texas, and Mississippi, and Alabama. Those people that get up every single day and work for their families to put food on the table and put their kids to school so their kids can have a better life than them. I am for you. Donald Trump is for you. This administration is for you. So if you share those values with me, then watch my show, and I guarantee you big things are coming, and you will see spirited arguments, and I will always stand up for you, and I will always speak my mind against those who want to divide our country or want to take food off the table for the American people and give it to Mexico or give it to China or give it to Japan. I don't care about what's going on in those countries. They have governments. They have people. Let them take care of their own countries. You call me a nationalist all you want. You can say that I'm old school. My ideas are old. Well, there's nothing old about taking care of your neighbor. There's nothing old about feeding the people in this country first. I'm so tired of these bleeding heart liberals, and they always have programs and feed this and feed that for people that are overseas. Well, let me tell you something. Go on the streets of Las Vegas. Go downtown in Las Vegas. Go to the streets of Chicago. Go to the streets of New York. Go to the streets of LA. Go to the streets of go to Flint, Michigan. And who do you know? Why do those people have water that they can't even drink? You know, I have so many things to talk about and so many shows that are coming up. It gets me so excited. It gets me fired up. We have neglected this country. We have neglected our people. And I was offered this radio show at the right time and with the right president. And I guarantee you I'll be right there with him every step of the way. And I will be always on your side. And I will always speak up for the things that matter to you, the values that matter to you. Getting rid of this Obamacare is ridiculous. People's premiums are going through the roof. He's killing small businesses. Repeal and replace that. You know, if there's a piece or two that you like to keep in it, President-elect, that you think are good. But let me tell you something. I talk to small business owners. I have a lot of friends in our businesses. It is killing them. They can't hire. They're stifled. Replace and repeal Obamacare. Build that wall. And I'm just trying to tell you that I will always talk about things that matter to the American people. Get these criminals, these illegal aliens out of this country. And make America great again. Put America first. I will always put America first. I'm so excited. I could talk to you for another hour, but my time does run out here. Again, call in every day from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, 702-983-0711. Chris Garcia, the Conservative American. The show will be up very soon. If you're not watching on live stream, you can watch it later on tonight. I love you. I'm so proud to be an American. Que tenga buen dia. And I will see you Monday. I'm on a 72.5-hour break. And Jordan, I love you, my son. Get some sleep tonight wherever you are. The great producer, CN, my wife, she does a fantastic job here at this wonderful facility. She has 10 hats that she has to take care of, besides being married to a pompous idiot like myself.